Alright, what's up everybody, Sam from Zerada MMA Bet. In this video I'll be doing my card predictions for UFC on ESPN 41, Vera versus Cruz. As always, let's go through the picks and the bets, then on to the breakdowns. As you guys see, I don't have many bets for this card, and the only bet that I have is actually really tiny. I may do some extra bets here, I'm gonna be waiting for weightings, and I'm gonna do prop bets on this one, right? So if you wish to hear more on that, more on the props, more later on what's gonna happen, that's part of the Patreon. I'll show you guys in the end of the video. Alright, so let's go through the entire picks and the bets. So starting off with Lupi Godinez and Angie Hill. I'm picking Godinez but betting Hill. Very tiny bet. Ariane Lipsky and Priscilla Cachoeira. I'm picking Lipsky not betting. Youssef Zalal and Damon Blackshear. Picking Zalal not betting. Bruno Silva and Gerald Mercer. Picking Silva not betting. Cynthia Calvillo and Nina Nunes. I'm picking Nunes. That's the bet that I may do, depending on how Nina looks in the weightings. Probably gonna throw in a small bet on her. Martin Budy versus Brzezicki. I'm picking Budy. Almost bet him. Now he's a little bit too expensive in my opinion. Still maybe not bad to parlay. Right, he's like minus 270, something like this. So maybe not bad. But I didn't put here, so not a bad parlay piece. Yasmin Jauregui and Yasmin Lucindo. I'm picking Jauregui not betting. Marlon Vera and Dominic Cruz. I'm picking Vera but not betting. Okay, so let's go through the card, guys, so you guys can know what my thoughts are. By the way, part of the Patreon is access to this. In this, you guys have as presenter comments summarized my analysis here. I released this early on Patreon. Okay, so this is one of the Patreon tiers, and that's how it looks like. So between Cachoeira and Lipsky, this is a fight between two tough brawlers. Basically, Cachoeira is a brawler, not much more than that. She comes forward and swings with everything she has. She hits all kind of punches and strikes on the way, but that chin is just insane. It's incredible. She has never been KO'd, and she gets hit clean, like always, like all the time. In Lipsky, she hits hard. You know, she's the queen of violence too, so she's also another one that is a very tough brawler. Problem that Lipsky has is her takedown defense, and from her back she's actually not that bad, but she's not active enough. But nonetheless, it's not a problem in this fight. Cachoeira will not shoot a takedown. Maybe Lipsky can shoot a takedown Cachoeira, but not the other way around for sure. So this is Lipsky fights to win, guys. She's more technical. I think she hits harder, you know, from what I feel like. I think she hits harder. Cachoeira can take a punch. She doesn't hit lightly, but I think Lipsky has more power. I think Lipsky is also younger, right? So she has the use to. She has the ground game, right? So this is Lipsky, basically Lipsky fight to win, but I don't trust Lipsky. The only bet that I won with her was against Mandy Baum, and it was like I was apprehensive as always with Lipsky, but she showed up at least in the last fight, so maybe she will show up again here. If she does, she should win this quite comfortably because she just has to avoid the bigger shots, find her cleaner shots, and basically shoot on Cachoeira. She would be fine, but still, as a strong favorite on Lipsky, I don't trust her, and I don't want to bet Cachoeira either. To me, it's too much. No, I think she's basically too much one-dimensional, and I even think that Lipsky can finish Cachoeira, right? Actually, I'm interested in that prop bet. If Lipsky by finishes at a decent price, like plus 400 or something, I may take that one because I think Lipsky can finish Cachoeira. You know, I think at some point Cachoeira's chin gonna deteriorate. It's impossible, right? So at some point she will get dropped. Maybe in this fight already. Cynthia Calvillo and Nina Nunes. Like I told you guys, this is potentially a bet that I'll have on Nunes. The breakdown here, guys, nothing too much to talk about. Cynthia keeps the fight on the feet, controlling the range, right? Then she likes to shoot. She's a good wrestler, but not too much great on the control. She's also quite a small flyweight. She was not a big strawweight, and she moved up. She looks pretty small in there. Nina Nunes, previously Nina Ansaroff, was also a strawweight, so she's not a giant flyweight or anything, but I think she's a little bit bigger. To me, it feels like she has, you know, like more physical tools in there. She also definitely hits harder. I think on the feet, Nunes, if she pressures forward, right, she controls the center of the octagon and pushes forward. I think she wins this one comfortably. like I told you guys, Calvillo is not a bad wrestler. She's a good one, but I think because Calvillo doesn't push hard forward and hide the takedowns behind the punches, she sort of controls the range and then she times the opponent. I think if Nina controls the range here, sees the shot coming, she's gonna be able to stuff at least the initial shot, gonna make Calvillo work for it. And little by little, I think Calvillo would get discouraged to take this to the ground, not be able to control this type of things. So I do think Nunes should win this fight, right? I have it as a 50-50 because I cannot count Nunes in. Her last fight, she was dominated by Mackenzie Dern, but I don't think Calvillo can do that. I don't see it, right? Calvillo doesn't have the same strengths as Mackenzie Dern. Plus, she doesn't have the BJJ to dominate as Mackenzie did, right? So she doesn't hit hard as Mackenzie. So Calvillo, she's gonna have to win a decision here. She wants to win, and I think that Nunes has more chances here. But I want to see the weighting, see how Nunes approaches herself, how the weighting how she looks physically, and probably bet her. Lupi Godinez and Angie Hill. Actually, this one was already. I don't know, it wasn't. So Lupi Godinez and Angie Hill. This is an interesting one. The only one I'm betting for now. And the thing here, guys, of course, Godinez, she's excellent. I mean, she hits hard. She's very physical, good wrestling, good top control. They are fighting in a catch weight at 120 pounds. I think this favors Godinez again. So everything in favor of Godinez. Hits harder, younger, better wrestler, good control, much bigger. But Angela Hill is still game. Don't think that she's going to be intimidated by Lupi Godinez. She's going to come ready. She is always very sharp in conditioning. She has good cardio, even at 37 she is now. She doesn't hit as hard as she did before, but still she can control the range. Interestingly enough, she has the range here. I think probably she has the height too. So this is going to be interesting. Angie Hill trying to control the range. Lupi Godinez trying to push forward. But Godinez does a good job in pushing opponents back and then shooting. So it's very tough to deal with her because she hits so hard. But I think if someone is to deal with that, it is Angie Hill. Angie Hill also now starts shooting takedowns, which is interesting because it's not going to be easy to take Lupi down, but it's not impossible either. So, I don't know, Lupi pushes too hard. Angie Hill throws her down, discourages her. Lupi Godinez is not the most experienced fighter. So I do see some questions here. I still think that Lupi is a strong favorite, guys, don't get me wrong. But I think that the values is on Angie Hill, not by much. Basically, the line is fairly correct at plus 240, plus 260. But still, if to bet to me here at these odds, given Angie Hill experience against wrestler and everything, I think the bet is on Hill. I'm just not throwing more money on her because I'm going to bet her more by decision. So that's going to be my bet here basically on this fight. It's going to be Angie Hill by decision. But in terms of a pick, I think the safest pick is Godinez and by decision. Youssef Zalal and Damon Blackshear. This is a high-level fight, guys. Both of these guys can do basically everything. A little bit different approaches to the game. Youssef Zalal more patient. He takes his time. He finds, his technical in there, pushes opponent back using technique, right? Earning the respect little by little. Then he shoots. He's an excellent grappler, good wrestler. Similar things can be said about Damon Blackshear, but he's much faster, light explosive, and but equally good. I mean, equally technical, right? Damon Blackshear also good wrestling, very good grappling from his back. He can reverse position, sweep, all of that. Basically, I'm slightly favoring Zalal here just because of the experience in the UFC. Damon Blackshear seems to be a very composed guy in there. I think he's going to perform at his best. But nonetheless, it is his debut, so that's always a factor. So I'm favoring Zalal just a bit because of that. But you can definitely make an argument here for Damon. He's faster, right? And he's under a good camp himself. So this is a battle, guys. High-level fight. Let's see what happens here. I think Zalal wins this one. Zalal by decision is the pick. I may bet Zalal by decision, right? I also think that I think it could be a split decision, right? A robbery, or at least arguable either side. But I do feel that Zalal has a small edge here. Martin Budy and Lucas Brzezicki. This is very easy to break down. Budy pushes forward, big guy for the division. If he's not on top of 265, he's very close to that. The man is like a thick, very big. Brzezicki is more like a lean heavyweight, right? He's like 230, 240 maximum. Brzezicki, and Budy is more composed, he's more technical. Brzezicki sort of swings in there. The only reason why I'm not just betting Budy quite comfortably is because Budy keeps that chin up very high, right? Brzezicki gonna swing. I think Budy gonna eat some shots. I haven't seen Budy eating much. He seems to be a very, looking at him, I see that this guy is so tough. Probably nobody can put this guy out. But I haven't seen him eating too many clean shots. So I have that question in my mind. Budy at minus 200 would be a good parlay piece. Now he's minus 280. Still not bad. I think he's going to win this one quite comfortably, right? Especially after the couple swings that he eats. Probably he's not going to be knocked out, and he's the more physical guy here. Brzezicki probably going to break. I don't think on the second, maybe on the second. Oh, no, I don't think on the first, sorry. Maybe on the second, Brzezicki going to be knocked out. But Budy can finish this at any time, too. So I'm going Budy TKO. I think I'm going to be taking a look on that prop bet. Maybe Budy round 1, round 2, or even round 3. Any round, basically, Budy can finish this fight. So, yeah, I think Budy is the way to go here, but I would be careful, at least at these odds. Jasmine Jauregui and Yasmin Lucindo. So this is another interesting one. I was tempted to bet Jauregui here. Lucindo, actually, is only 20 years old, but she seems experienced. I mean, not only seems, she has like 25, not 20, but 15 fights, which is incredible, right, at 20 years old. And she's quite composed in there, guys, times the wrestling shots well, likes to take them out, play it safe. Yasmin Jauregui, very good kickboxer, very good grappler, very tough to take down. She's active from her back. She looks, very lean and fit and strong in there. I think Yasmin Jauregui should be able to win this one quite comfortably. She looks more technical, all of that. But Lucindo has more fights. Lucindo is 20. Jauregui is 23, so maybe Jauregui has the advantage here because they're both so young. Being that young, I think 23 has advantage over 20. But the thing is that I was not able to find that much footage on these girls, and it's the debut for both, so to bet Jauregui at minus 200, it's tricky. Maybe to bet Lucindo here is not a bad idea. I don't feel much comfortable because I think Jauregui has advantage everywhere. Even on the ground, even from her back, I think she has more chances. She's also super tough to control from what I've seen. But I saw all of that in one fight. The other fight, she was a little bit slower, so I also found that a little bit odd. So I don't know, man. I think I'm going to just pass on this one and watch it. Let's see what happens. Bruno Silva and Gerald Mercer. This is another interesting fight. Bruno Silva coming as a strong favorite. I think it's correct because everybody knows Mercer. Good ground game, right? And also not bad on the feet. He's technical there too. The problem with this guy is obviously the speed, is that the athleticism on Gerald. I mean, sort of tries to do his best on what he has, but nothing impressive. The guy is fairly, slow in there. He's methodical, which is a good style for him, right? Because that's what his body allows him to do, basically. And he also is extremely experienced. The guy has 50 fights, so that is insane. So there's a massive advantage for Gerald in that regard. Nonetheless, I think Gerald doesn't have a strong wrestling game to bring this to the ground and dominate. He's an excellent grappler. He's a high-level BJJ player. So for him to win, he has to take the body lock and work it from there. Bruno Silva doesn't care much about defense, especially with the grappling. He doesn't care to engage in grappling matches. But I think here he's going to fight a little bit smarter. He knows that Gerald is basically, he has to do that to win. So I think he's going to probably avoid that body lock, keep it standing, or even if he gets taken down. Bruno Silva is very strong. I don't think Gerald can control him much. I don't see much of a submission for Gerald. So to me, it's Bruno Silva that's going to win this fight. Maybe Gerald going to be able to survive the first round, when he's still strong, right? Take Bruno down, all of this. But I think from the second round, Bruno Silva's chances for the knockout increase, because Bruno, he's a guy that he hits hard, but he doesn't explode much, so he kind of has to accumulate the damage in there. So round 2, round 3, I would say that Bruno knockout, probably round 2, possibly round 3. But yeah, that definitely, this is my pick, but I don't see much value in either of these guys, right? To bet Bruno Silva at minus 300 is too much. Mercer, maybe by decision, not a bad idea. He could make it a stalemate fight, control, all of that. He'll try the submission too. I don't think he submits, so give shot Mercer by decision, not a bad idea. Rather than that, Bruno by knockout or pass. I think we're probably just gonna pass this one altogether. Let's see how they look at the weightings. I want to see how much thicker and more powerful Bruno looks. If they look about the same, I may take a bet here on Mercer by decision, something like this. Marlon Vera and Dominic Cruz in the main event. So don't need to comment much about this. I think this is actually interesting because Vera, in the past, he used to be a very instinct fighter. He was in there, always dangerous, but took a long time to get started. Started waking up on the fight on the second half when he was losing. Then he woke up. He's so great that he just woke up, started landing, and in the third round he finished lots of people. So that's what Vera did before. But in the last couple bouts, Vera took the center of the octagon, was way more aggressive. He has to do this against Dominic. If he's gonna wait on the outside, gonna be anybody's fight because Dom is very tough to hit. If you're just gonna try to be technical against Dom, you're probably gonna get just out point, not gonna hit him. So Vera has to come forward. He has to be aggressive, lands lots of leg kicks, right? Provoke Dom, or at least get on his face and make it a brawl, something like this. I think that's what he's gonna do, right? He would be a fool if he wants to be technical against Dom. Dom has good wrestling. Vera doesn't have the best takedown defense, but since he has the height, the reach, the use here, I think he also has all the tools to stuff those takedowns or at least get back up very quickly. Vera is a high-level grappler, so is Dom. Nobody's going to submit each other here unless they hurt each other and then find a finish. So the finish is for Vera, in my opinion. I'm picking Vera within distance. Let's see if he comes. He has to come aggressive though, and keep pushing forward, find a clean shot, and break Dom. If it would be a 3-round fight, I would say Vera by decision. But since it's a 5-rounder, I think Vera has way more chances for the finish, especially round 3, round 4. Right? I think that's when Vera has more chances for the finish. All right. But the best bet here may be Dom by decision, right? Because it's very difficult that Dominic Cruz finishes Vera. I don't know, I would give 10% to that more or less, but not more than that. So if you're gonna bet Cruz, it is by decision. That line might be very interesting because Cruz is an underdog here. So by decision, you may get Cruz at plus 250, plus 300, which is interesting, in my opinion, right? If you can find Dom by split decision, if you have a line like that in your bookie, that might be the best, right? Because I do think even if you go the distance, Vera most definitely will have his moments, right? Dom can take him down, can control in one round. The next round, Vera will most certainly come and win the next round, this type of things. So if you have this line, split decision, I would definitely bet Dom by split decision at plus 1300. You can find some split decision line like that, so that might be the best bet here, Dom by split decision. Rather than that, I think I would take either Dom decision, either take Vera in this late rounds, right 4, right 3 or round 4, okay? So that to do for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'll come up with the rest of the potential bets, and if I'm gonna bet someone else on Patreon. So how does it look like with $10 a month? This is in Brazilian reais, but $10 a month. You guys have access to this, right? Which again, I have my written comments in here, okay? And you guys have the bets that I take, the prop bets that I take. Let me just show you guys how it looks like. Just give me a second because Patreon has changed this interface recently, and I didn't use much, so I'm quite confused here still. Yeah, sorry about this, guys, because I decided to reset my internet. It was not working well, and I'm recording this offline. So I'm not going to be able to show you guys unless it comes quick, but I don't want to pause this video. So basically, let me just talk through it. Basically, you guys have access to this, and in the Patreon, I put up my props there, right? Which I say, okay, I'm betting extra on this guy, I'm doing prop on this guy, and for $50, you guys have access to this spreadsheet where I lay my entire betting strategy. Okay, I have already lots of bets that I'm taking for UFC 278. That one, I hope that I finally cash very nicely. So this one, I have a lot of bets, right? I have already some bets for UFC 280 also, because I did see some value. Just show you guys here some more bets that I have. Okay, I'm not gonna give too much away this one for now. So that's basically for $50 access to this. You guys can know that, plus the props that I take line by line, right? So I'm putting already the props here, at least those that I'm interested in, those that I might take. So the props history here, guys, the last one, at least I got one nice prop, which was Jamal Hill, round 4 knockout. I talked about that in the predictions. I put a bet, so it came back to me 2.5 units just with that, because I risked nearly 0.2 units in there. So that's how it looks like, guys. For $50, you guys have access to this material here and all the props that I may take. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. By the way, I just think my internet just came back. Okay, so but until I find this interface, I'm gonna be taking a look at this with more time. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'll talk to you next time. Sam from Brother Bet, bring the best, most consistent, and transparent betting strategy for you.